Hello, and welcome to another episode of my Stellaris Let's Play. The first real gameplay episode for those of you who decide to skip the Galaxy generation. I guess you missed out on a little idle chatter, a little explanation of my background and why I'm desperately trying to get my YouTube channel to get the point where I can monetize it so I can survive. But that I'm not gonna go too much into. I explained a little bit while I was idly doing Galaxy generation stuff. Well, not idly, but while I was doing stuff. I will say I have long COVID. I don't think always the most quickly. I forget stuff. I apologize if that affects. You see periods where I just kind of trail off when I'm talking or lose focus. Focus is typically on the game. I am playing as the Larian Royal Planet States. This is Knights of the Toxic God Origin with Genesis Guides and Galactic Curators. I thought Galactic Curators is cool that you start with extra artifacts and guaranteed research option, Galactic Archivism. So I could do the Grand Archive, especially early. But yeah, extra specimens. Is cool. XD from culture workers also. I like culture workers, and Genesis guides allow me to generate pre-sapients on planets that colonize. I did turn up the pre-FDL setting level, so there might be not as many empty planets. I turned up habitable planets 1.5x. Pre-FDL is 1.75, if I remember. One of the things with my long code is my memory is a little compromised, so I already forgetting stuff. I know I set the game year longer. I left the pop growth settings mostly alone, which usually I actually go for really high pop growth, turning off pop scaling and putting with just scaling to max. And I may do that in my next campaign here. This is one kind of messing around and getting familiar with 4.0, or at least I say that, but just being more relaxed, at least mentally, takes some pressure off myself. So I'm more pacifist game, hence pacifist, although you can still conquer as pacifist with Liberation Wars, and I'll probably be doing that. In that what I'm going for is a more hands-off approach instead of managing a vast number of planets. Vassals, you can only have so many vassals, so Federation members, you can do is release sectors as vassals. Eventually give them full independence so you can release more vassals later and integrate. Vassals are often, if I remember correctly, with the right setting, you can force them into your federation before you give them full independence. So I don't have to worry about sectors that release not being allied. And there's the specialized vassals like Prospectorias and Scolaria. So there's benefits to having a few vassals, and I set scale and difficulty with maximum difficulty by the end game year, I think it was. I thought considered mid game. No, maybe I did set it to mid game. I don't even remember now. You can go watch the video, or maybe I'll watch my own thing and review it. So eventually those worlds I don't manage will get production bonuses. They'll be more productive my own planets, possibly. AI doesn't manage their worlds well enough for it to produce more, but at least that somewhat compensates for the fact that I'm not in there microwaving the planets, and allows me to not feel too bad about doing that, just to save myself some energy and let the game progress faster. My species has an ocean preference. There are some cooler events tied to ocean planets in the game, so I like that. Genetic memory, so I'll want to establish colonies relatively early. Develop them for a while. They get, at the end of 50 years, they have 25% hability. Genesis guide species won't benefit from that, of course, but it may not immediately be uplifting the pre-sapiens because I won't have the tech. I'll have to gain the technology to uplift pre-FDL, pre-sapient species, which they have nice traits and get. Quick learners, rapid breeders, so hopefully I don't have too many problems with having to pop solitary. It's not a terrible thing to have. And rooted. I'm playing Knights of the Toxic God. I don't want to have to deal with pops out of resettling off of the order habitat if I'm putting a ton in there. Eventually I'll probably gene mod this out of my species for some, but having pops who won't automatically resettle is actually very useful. I want some rooted pops. But I'll probably be going Bioascension. Well, no, I'll definitely be going Bioascension. So, you know, I have different variants, subspecies in my main species, as well as other species that end up in my empire. Anyways, origin. Knights of the Toxic God here. Long ago, our planet was divided. Petty kings squabbled constantly, and our population bled for their vain ambitions. With the coming of the first High King, all of this changed. Their inspired leadership formed a kingdom without equal. Above all, the High King was pious. Wars waged against any who denied their god. But still the heretics persisted. The king's prayers were answered when the toxic god visited our world. Though its time among us was brief, its baneful influence poisoned the lands of the unbelievers. Any who survived pledged fealty to the High King. For the first time, our world was unified. The toxic god soon left us, but the king, determined to find it, founded an order of knights. For centuries, these valiant souls searched tirelessly, but to no avail. The toxic god had long since departed from our world. The next chapter of the quest would be written in the stars. With the use of powerful relics, it was the order that built our empire's first orbital station. A mighty keep, it would become the springboard from which they plunged ever deeper into the cosmos.
I have important information for you.
Huh. I do not want to deal with Veer. I thought this was removed from the game. Shutting it down gives you +2 minerals. Shut this thing down. It used to, there's something about you say you have a such and such drive. There used to be a cheekier message about shutting this thing down. But yes, I'm going to scrap Veer for 2 minerals. I don't. No, I don't want to be bothered. I'm familiar enough with this game. I don't need Veer. Even though some things are a little different. And hey, the 2 minerals give me a slight boost. Maybe I'll make mistakes that more outweigh 2 minerals in the long run, but here we go. The new empire focuses. Wait, San Fernando. I haven't colonized anywhere. Oh, the order habitat counts as a new world. It's considered to have been spawned on day 1, I guess. And this tells me my origin, the Toxic God. I can select a focus. The first 5 years, there's no cost, so I can look at what these things give. Let's see. So instead of oh, it doesn't change what's there. Increase the chance for exploration and development tasks. Our scientists get a permanent research option. Find alien life. They promised a venture. They didn't mention the months of silence in the recycled air. Then the trade hub came online. Finally, something worth sticking around for. This is flavor text for build Starbase module. I'll stick with development for a year. The first 5 years, no penalty, and I'll switch back to exploration. I'd like to get a development focus or 2 available. There's a reward progress of stuff. Alright, This music's gonna annoy me. Let's turn it up before because it wasn't that loud on the menu. But also my long COVID is making me more noise sensitive the longer I've been awake. That happens, I get kind of a... Heard that people who have like autism have dealt with this their whole lives. Like this kind of noise sensitivity. It's like, shit, I can't imagine. Always since I've gone long COVID if I had to deal with this, but it's the most obnoxious thing. Probably want to switch to generous funding soon on the Knight's Toxic God. I probably shouldn't do it right at the very beginning because there's a lot of benefits to early industrial snowballing. I try to resist being too min-max, well not min-max, microing too darn much here. But I always have that tendency in any game I play. It's why I tried to set settings in ways that would encourage me to not, like, keeping pop growth scaling on encourages me to split off parts of my empire. Because each empire has its own pop growth scaling. And you get more total pops over time that way than if you kept everything in one giant empire that you have to manage all of. I don't really trust automation, and I hate being able to see the things the AI is doing wrong. Plus, split off parts empire, they get things like the ability to build multiple matter decompressors, you know, one in each empire. So it's not, you do it before you build it yourself. If you build it, I think they inherit like the used capacity. Anyhow. Materials workshop. This is new. Gives engineering research per engineer and extra engineering jobs. Oh, so this actually makes nanomechanics useful now. It used to be stupid because it would give you a boost to engineer output that would take so long to pay for itself. It wasn't worth doing for a long time. Like early game stuff like nanomechanics was a noob trap. This is useful. This is adding a bonus that can be modified by modifiers and giving extra jobs. I might do nanomechanics. This is all about trade hubs. It's not that useful. Soil Reclamation Center. Center focuses on restoring marginal land and improving yields. Line for greater agricultural district growth. Costs exotic gases? No, but food from farmers, not a terrible thing. Especially, well no, I didn't do the hull bones, I ended up doing rooted. Probably do galactic archivism eventually. The amount of uni you get from planetary unification goes up with the uni income, so probably want to wait a little bit on that. Grab this. It's a biology tech. I want to work my way up the biology stuff. It's not one of the ones that leads to other, not like the mystery path. Oh, you know, I got plenty of food. I'll just... Planetary unification? Maybe. Field Dynamics Center. This allows you to add extra physicists. I have a feeling this is like... I haven't even looked at the new system. I'm guessing these go in the capital. Strongholds, which add night jobs. Orders Demence, Reactor. districts, etc. So that's night output, make it useful. Pause the music for a sec while I look through stuff. Probably gonna focus my nights on uni production. Go heavy on uni early, but always found alloy foundries to be useful for the early metallurgist jobs. Hey, you can do a medical center from the beginning of the game now. No needing gene clinics for your first medical workers. That's nice. I've always felt medical work is undervalued in this game. For a time, the Lari should gain habitability from their top traits. I am not going to automate the designation. Tie it to fortress station so that... Oh, no, it's already... I didn't want is... I can do is automation is turn on automation for yeah. This allows the planetary governor to build buildings using energy. I've used these before. It's been a while. Wow, deficit construction. Special airlines too. I may turn on the automation. It's been a little bit, but I remember I just have to review how to get the most out of it at some point. Start with precinct houses, really? Not sure I need the extra enforcers. Still got enforcers from the capital. Yep. Uh, added archives, specialization, reduced housing, but biologists, physicists, engineers, and priests. It's an actual building, though. Or set mixed industry. I see. I can replace one with the other. There's already an archive here. It's all a little new to me. Yeah, I knew it was going to miss the 4.0 stuff. I don't like auto-designate anything. It sometimes changes stuff when you least expect it. Found Empire Capital. This can only be used for industry. This can only be used for labs and such. Lots of civilians. Why are there 2 entries for Milari civilians? They're for different ethos. So 500 authoritarians, 1,000 spiritualists. It looks like 500 pacifists. I start with pre-sapiens in my homeworld. That's interesting. Guess that's the benefit of Genesis guides. Conservative. Nice. Extra happiness. As long as they're not using them for leaders. Let's see, decisions. All the probably ought to expand that first. Set up new sectors later. Oh, this is an easier way to see things. Alright, so I basically have what's the equivalent of 12 pops of civilians from the previous system. 3 pre-sapients. They're conserved fauna. That's definitely a policy. Guess they got rid of into tolerated pre-sapient stuff. For prohibit purges, it just upsets other empires to allow purging. I don't do it generally. Trade policy, wealth creation. Can't change that yet. Start with militarized economy. Need that early for ships. Expansion is still colony development speed. Though isolationist has some utility too. Don't find any other nations quickly. I forget. I think the authoritarians. I forget if they're happy with oppressive vassalage, or maybe that's just the militarists. Xenophile factions where egalitarians don't like this. It's been a while. I don't have memorized what, and it's probably changed what makes who happy. Bombardment, selective, summon allowed. I have prohibit population controls. This will only upset some factions to allow them. I am not going to be using them. Prohibit slavery. Vassalage. If I release a sector, I don't forget if they. I think this is always, yeah, no, this is initial vassal agreement terms. So if this is if you offer someone affects. Oop, hold on. Stupid. One moment. Sorry about that. So I accidentally knocked out power cord, put it back in. I also took a quick moment to check some stuff. Faction happiness. Yeah, this is still vassalage from subjugation war. Like I thought. Oppressive vassalage makes the totalitarian faction, that is the faction authoritarian one, happier. So I want to do that. Cool. Quest Knights are good because extra anomaly discovery chance. I like that. Start off with infinite opportunities being done. Jet's happiness, special wants. Let's promote and celebrate our technological achievements. Interesting, that's starts in progress. Starting with 3 pre-sapiens is nice. Move these hotkeys. I'm not going to use them, and they're just going to clutter my interface. Also, wait, I never get rid of genetic curators? I mean, galactic curators? I'm not going to shoot. It just goes to antiquarian expertise. Darn it. I didn't realize it was locked into this. That's annoying. That could reformat this later. Nope. That sucks. What do I start with as compensation for being locked into a civic? So I guess reformation never means you can't reform out of something. That's annoying. Although there is, with the old gods eventually, I think we'll clear things like that. So there's one way to do it, unless that was changed. So I start with an ancient bust. I don't receive any benefits unless I exhibit stuff. a chambered clay pot. So Unity, trade, jobs, and perfectly faceted carbon. While carbon in its crystalline form is not such a rare find in our galaxy, this specimen is especially notable for its complete lack of any internal or external inclusions. Whoever was previously in possession of this item took the time to carve it in such a way as to highlight these remarkable features. So, engineering research. I really don't wish I wasn't locked into Genesis guides, though. That's gonna hurt me eventually. I mean, not Genesis guides and the Galactic Couriers. That's gonna be annoying eventually. There's a lot of better stuff out there. Well, serves me right for trying to get the... I already set the focus. So I can do quantum computing. Gives me access to a building that adds physicist jobs. Fusion power, which allows fusion reactors on my ships. Or zero-G laboratories. Probably gonna do lots of research stations. Should already be getting... Ah. There we go. There's no research deposits in my home system? Really? None? There's an ocean world there, though. Ooh, size 21. It's not bad. Where does it show planet size? On and colonize worlds. Interface is all different. I don't know where things are. Oh, size 20. Okay. It's above average. But yeah, yeah, I think I'll probably get planetary unification later. I'm just going to do eco simulation. Zero-G laboratories. Displays and nanomechanics. So step up materials workshop. Probably. Now let's look at my starting leaders now. Where research, compare size, envoys. There used to be a thing up here. It's leader capacity. Seeing that at a glance. Has that changed? There's been so much that's changed. Situational algorithm. Yeah, because there's still capacity, so why can't I see the leader capacity at the top of the screen? Some prick think that that made this easier. No, I want to see it. I want to know at a glance how I'm doing versus my leader capacity. I think this is just to discourage people feeling restricted by it. Okay. Anyways, the starting admiral is a butcher. Oh no, that's Minister of Defense. No, he's an admiral. That's right, because they merged admirals into commanders. This is not a trait I like. Collateral damage. So actively harmful. Adaptable. This guy starts at level 2 with an architectural interest. Sort of state politician. This is a terrible official. Destructive. Resilient people. Excuse me. A meticulous scientist, at least. Adaptable, head of research. Ruler spiritualist. I'm on the Genesis Preserve. But, most of my elites are pacifist. Start on the edge of the galaxy. I'm gonna redo this. Start mostly, pretty much the same thing. Mostly because I don't want to get stuck. I don't think with galactic curators. I want a different civic. If I can't reform out of that, so next to menu. Start a new galaxy here. First, change the government ethics. Now they know you can't reform out of any of that stuff. I'm gonna have to pick something else. I do like Genesis guides. That's cool. You actually start with a decent number of civilians, so it wouldn't be terrible to have civil education at the start. Especially you'd start with the State Academy. Should give the same cannot be added or moved warning for in red for galactic curators. Cannot be added or moved. I guess you can turn it into antiquarian expertise and back, so that's why it doesn't have the never. Start with Imperial Cult or Memorialist. I think I'm just gonna, especially because it got rooted, start with civil education. It's kind of cool. Doing the state academy early on. I'm gonna add jobs, but nah, it's an efficient use of pops. Maybe not. So I know you guys probably hate me messing with this stuff too much. Functional architecture probably is great early game use. I think I'm just going to do genetic identification. You don't get bureaucrats as spiritualists, right? It replaces them with priests. But I'm presuming the genetic identification still works. I'm going to be annoyed if it doesn't. If I can't make bureaucrats my priests, don't get the society research. Done. Alright, same settings as before. Gives a chance for everyone to see what I set. Oh, I set this all the way up to 2x? You know what, since I'm doing Genesis guides, I'll set the Habitable World slightly higher so I can get more variety of pre-sapiens. Alright. Also, apparently this creates dead zones where you don't see precursor spawns, so I'll leave them all on. I hope I don't roll one of those. Or... yeah. Keep my fingers crossed to get something more interesting. Here we go. "45 minutes. I'm going to pause this while this goes through this starting new game thing. Alright, and here we go. As before. Same description. Pretty much the same stuff. World with the same name. Still size 20. Size 13 desert world there. That better not be one of my guaranteed habitables. I'm gonna be annoyed since I'm an ocean-dwelling species. Ooh, genome mapping. Pop growth is king. At least a good. Energy laboratory. Nanomechanics. Mr. State has mining rush this time. And I have a careful commander. I like that. Reduce collateral damage. So when I conquer a world, I don't cause as much devastation, which ultimately hurts pop growth. And a charismatic head of research. Doubling up on the EX fund. That's really good. Spycraft. Useless without Nemesis. That's irritating. Probably won't be hiring any of those people anyways. Destructive. Ugh. Don't like any of the options for scientists, whatnot. Oh, you start with different focuses each time. Is there a way to remove this? I don't want to declare a rival. God. Locked into this garbage. And I'm not sure this isn't one of my guaranteed habitable worlds. Alright, I'm going to reroll Northstar. I was fine with most things, but getting a size 13 desert world as one of my starting worlds as an ocean dweller? No. I'm not dealing with that nonsense. I'm also not dealing with being forced as a pacifist to declare rivals to progress my focuses. Wish there was a way to cancel focus. Or is there? And I didn't see it. I'll pause again. Alright, here we go. Recording again. That is an obvious quality of life issue, by the way. And one... Start on the edge of the galaxy